Hello. Today I want to talk about art direction. What is it? Who does it? What does it mean? Let's go. Okay, art direction. So for years I've had in my bio, art director by day, game designer by night. But I've never really explained what art director really means. For tabletop games, it typically means that you're the one who is managing the timelines and the schedules and the creative vision of what a game ends up looking like. It's a tricky mix of hard and soft skills, but one tool I find very useful to get everything all in one place is the art direction document. Now here's an example of what one looks like. My art direction documents always start on the first page with the most concrete details. That would be the height, the width, the color, and the quantity of art that needs to be delivered. Let's talk about the dimensions first, though. Now, in those dimensions, bleed and margin are going to be some new terms for some people here, so I'll take some time to explain what those mean. If you've opened up a sheet of punchboard, for example, you'll see that the printing actually goes far beyond where the tile has been cut. That's called the bleed, and usually you're going to want about 3 millimeters or more of bleed. Within the bleed is going to be the cut line, and that's actually where you want the cut to be. And within that is the margin. The margin is where it's dangerous to put any text or critical information. Within the margin is your safe zone or safe area. Anything you put here is guaranteed by the manufacturer to appear in the final component. Now, if you're lucky, your manufacturer will be able to provide you a template so that this process will be a little bit easier. More often, you'll also have to customize your own templates so that your artists will know how to work around other graphical elements like logos or information on a card. When you're doing art direction for interior art, also take into account the type of binding that the book is going to have. Some types of binding will create a deeper gutter in the middle of a double-page spread, which may obscure art that's placed there. Now that's the technical aspect of art direction, which shouldn't be underestimated, but I think for most folks who are interested in this thing, they want to know more about the creative part of it, the actual writing of the thing. The first step in that process is talking to the decision maker on the project and asking them what their visual references are, what are their sources of inspiration, really digging deep to find out what it is they're actually trying to make here. If you are the decision maker, then you have to kind of interrogate yourself and figure out what it is that you are aiming for. For example, a game may feature a signature character that appears on multiple pieces of art done by different artists. So it's important to establish what that character design looks like up front and keep those elements consistent. For very large projects, sometimes that will mean hiring an artist early on just to do the character design for each of these characters. But most of the time, though, it just means a page in the art direction document that lists every member of the cast, so to speak, and gives visual descriptions and examples of what they look like. This is often my favorite part of the project because I get to put together an unusual cast of characters and actors that would never actually appear together normally. Once those characters have been established, then we can more confidently create a scene where those characters are interacting with one another in unusual situations, and I try to provide as much visual examples and reference and description for each of those scenes as possible. For example, in this dramatic scene where many of the main characters are gathered together in the dining hall, because the character designs had already been established, I could focus more of the visual references on the actual space where they would be interacting with one another. Throughout all of this, I think the most important thing is to just not hold back on any descriptions or visual references that you may have available to you. Don't force your artists to try to work in a vacuum or to read your mind about what it is you actually want. You should do the research and put together a description that makes it as clear as possible so that they have more to work with. Sometimes you may just not find the visual references that you need for your art direction, so you gotta be prepared to actually provide it yourself. Sometimes doing some silly poses for your artists that you kind of wish no one else had seen. I will set up this document and show it to the client or the creative director so they can get a sense of where the game is going before I've ever talked to or hired an artist yet. Once I have finalized this art direction document and gotten approval on it, then I will go seek out artists and I will look on portfolios, on Pinterest, on DeviantArt, finding artists that fit that style. And I will request estimates from those artists using this exact art direction document. Because that document has been reviewed and finalized and approved with that really accurate information, they're able to deliver back to me an accurate estimate of how long it'll take them to do and how much it'll cost to do it. Then with that information, I can weigh the time and budget that we have available on a project, find the right art team and get them together, and everyone's already on the same page. They're ready to go. They all have a sense of where this is supposed to be headed in the future, and it's a very efficient way to handle an art direction project, I feel. In my experience, it's a better use of your budget and time if you have a clear sense of art direction up front and don't ask an artist or freelancer to provide, say for example, 3 different options. Instead, set your schedule so that you ask for a sketch up front and include some time in the schedule for the decision makers to be accountable to provide commentary and guidance after that sketch has been turned in. Part of an art director's job is actually keeping everybody on schedule, including their own boss, so that they can provide the commentary and the feedback that the artist needs with enough time available so that they can get it done before it's actually due to production. This is very much a basic introduction to art direction. It doesn't go into much detail, unfortunately, about how to negotiate a contract, how to find an artist in the first place, how to interpret sketches and provide feedback and keep everybody on schedule. Maybe those details will be in a future episode, but I think for now this is enough to cover our bases for one episode. Hope you found it useful. Thanks. Hello again, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and please feel free to leave any comments in the questions below. Thanks very much. Bye!